you want to go next, Andy?
Yeah. Okay, so it's recording already. It's excellent. As said, nothing like recording yourself. Right.
Chrome's blocked. Use Firefox, I think.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Am I roughly in the right place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see the screen though.
Can't see the screen. Okay. Am I still okay?
Still good. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Right. My name's Andy Lewis, and I'm on Twitter as Talking Donkey RE, and also as at I Teach RE, which I've kind of set up for talking to teachers, because Talking Donkey RE is more for students, and they were getting a little bit bored of me talking about how great Teams Weeks are and RE Leader Weekends and things like that. What I want to talk today about is blogging, and I first started out blogging by blogging for my students on a blog called Talking Donkey RE, where I was picking up things in the news, trying to make RE a bit more relevant, because with the best bad RE, you know, it's not connected to the real world, it's not connected to the news, and it's something that lives just purely in a textbook. And so I was trying to kind of get it to come alive, and so I set up my first blog for the students. It's had varying success. It gets a lot of hits. I think some of those are from RE teachers. This was an interesting thing I picked up the other day about the threat to marriage, and kind of a few Catholic memes there about divorce being more damaging than gay marriage, and then contraception potentially being more dangerous. That started some really interesting conversations on Twitter. But again, some of the students picked up on that, and it sometimes brings it into the classroom. It's also amazing how much they pick up, because I tweet out the links, and they tell me that they've seen it. They may not have read all of it, but it is quite good for engaging them. Sometimes I set them specific homeworks. For instance, when I do about things like abortion, euthanasia, there's a whole series of articles, so I might get them to have a read through the articles, pick one that's of interest to them, summarise it, write their own opinion. So that's all gone very well. What I then started to do was encourage the students to blog, and my first experiment with that, I'm never going to be able to remember this, which is good, was I got my top set year 10s. No, brilliant. I've got all of this linked from my website, which is mrlewisre.co.uk. I can't even spell my own name, it's a bit awkward. Fantastic. And I've got a whole section on this part of the site about blogging with students. And so the first experiment I did with this was with my, as I said, top set year 10s last year. And we looked at community cohesion part of the course. And what we tried to do is, in order to make sure that they fully understood it, they had to put themselves in the position of a person, and then writing, for instance, this one here was trying to imagine a young Muslim woman who got married to a Christian man and now wants to divorce from a happy marriage. And it was quite an interesting, it's a bit kind of like Jeremy Kyle, but they didn't like it at first, because they really had to know their stuff before writing from a first person account. And you know, the idea of that was to kind of investigate the ideas of kind of empathy and so on. What we then did is, that was kind of one homework, and then they had another homework where they had to pick one and respond to it. I kind of marked it by responding to it as well. You can see there, but actually they'd already had 2 responses from other people in the class. I got my head of department to also do some replies, and I managed to get one in the English department. She was really keen on doing this kind of thing, and so she was actually contributing as well. And it potentially, you know, could involve, if you did something like this, a huge number of different staff within your school and outside. So that was kind of my first experiment. The girls in the end quite enjoyed it. It's a difficult thing to kind of force them to do the homework if they don't do it, but they all end up doing it. Amazing things like some of the girls saying, well, I wrote mine earlier and it's not as good, so can I go back and edit it, and things like that. And so they really kind of improved their writing. What I did is set up the blogger and gave them one username and password rather than using their own, and so on. I told them not to put their names, just their initials and so on. The latest experiment is with my A-level class, and I I've been really kind of pushing this on Twitter, so if you follow me, you've probably already seen this. We've started an A-level blog where all the students are now on a rota and they have to pick something to blog about each week, something from philosophy, something from ethics, something connected to the news, something that's of interest to them. And again, just very, very quickly, because I know my time is either nearly up or already up, again, I kind of had to persuade them with a bit of chocolate that kind of reply to it. But I think the best one, it was the one on Syria, where a girl was kind of quite surprised, and I can't remember who it was, but one of the teachers that wrote on it then apologised, not realising it was a student, but various different teachers had written quite lengthy responses that the student then went and replied to as well. So it's been really interesting, and they really enjoyed it, and I've had loads of really positive feedback already from the girls, and they're really into it. They want to know if they can post more than their allotted time. So it's a bit of blogging.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I just ask you, was your school very generally IT aware, or did you have to build all this stuff and blogs and everything? So
I've had
they're all waiting for you to harness?
No. Basically, my school isn't particularly forward-thinking in many ways. It's a very traditional school, does lots of things really, really well. I would say probably in RE we're definitely leading the charge using things like Edmodo, blogging, wikis, Twitter, and I think that's really important. Even I teach in a Catholic school, I think it's still really important to be absolutely leading in our subject, because that's what raises the game and shows everyone we're very serious about our subjects, and we do it very, very well. So I had to kind of go out there and do that. All blogs are filtered in our school, so I had to get them unblocked and things like that, but it worked. A bit of perseverance, and it's very successful. So again, don't think there's the obstacle there to be beaten, and you can.
What's that Modo word, sorry?
Edmodo is kind of a free VLE. If you go onto my website, I've written a load about it, and I think it's so brilliant as well. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Andy. So we've got 10 minutes, 2 people.